They stand on the edge of a new frontier, sharing a common pursuit of happiness. A pursuit that can bond a father with a son and have the future pushed by the past. Jim and Alex Knost have gone on many surf trips together, but none of them quite like this.
I had no choice but to go over into a war and into a war-torn country.
Jim couldn't believe he was back. It'd been a long time.
In the service, I was a salvage diver, hard hat salvage diver. So I got an opportunity to see a lot of beautiful beaches and ride through some swells. And it was always my thought, of course, that these swells had to be landing somewhere.
It was those swells that brought Jim back to Vietnam. With him, his son Alex. They were there for some adventure, fun, and surf. Being a communist country, Vietnam has millions of laws, except on the roadways. An 800-mile white-knuckle journey for surf.
These guys looking at the surfboards going, what the hell are those guys doing?
We looked everywhere for waves. Out in the country, near cities, even once next to a leper colony, which was the only time we were happy there was no surf. The rest of the time, the perfection mocked us. The beaches were dazzling, but the South China Sea was a lake.
If there's no surf, Alex begins to twitch a little bit, but that's okay. He's not used to spending that much time out of the water.
Jim and Alex started sand surfing, and if you're going to surf sand, you might as well surf big sand. So they headed up the coast, hoping to find that perfect dune. Without hesitation, Alex jumped into the first ride of the day. The wipeout seemed over, and then he looked behind him. Jim thought it looked easy and ended up with a 20 grit enema. This kid was the big kahuna of the dunes, and he showed the Knost how to really ride the sand. The kid was so stoked on the board, he made Jim and Alex follow him back to his village so he could show his pals. This kid had a lot of pals, and they were all stoked on the board, hundreds of them. Alex could hardly move and tried to take sanctuary in the water. That didn't really help matters much. It didn't really matter that they were riding ripples. The joint went ballistic. Every time they stood up, the kids went into a full frothing frenzy.
What can you say? How can you deny them? It reminds me of the first time I went surfing.
Jim was using the standing start, which is a fairly cool method. Alex, meanwhile, found a salad bowl and challenged the croutons in it to a race. Croutons got his board, he got their bowl. The four of the board were a well-oiled machine. Alex was the Titanic. Jim's students were fed up. It had turned into a full mutiny. With all their newfound friends following him, chanting Cowabunga, Jim and Alex set out for one final stop. It was the last place Jim had surfed in Vietnam, Da Nang. They still had hope, especially when they found out that Da Nang had a surf club.
Club from 1992, and so we have over 10 surfers.
Over 10 surfers?
Yeah, over 10 surfers.
Over 10 out of a population of nearly 80 million. Numbers don't matter when you're stoked.
I have got a free time and I must go to the sea and like surfing.
The Da Nang Surf Club is also the national swim team. They request that every guest sign their register. With Jim and Alex's signature, their 10-year total of visitors reached 24. At the end of the day, Jim gave the club his surfboard. He'd done a similar thing in 1972 when his military tour ended. 2 surfboards 30 years apart, both left in Da Nang. one given by a young soldier, the other by a father with his son. It's the kind of thing that makes a surf trip worthwhile.